Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Firefighters Podcast, where we seek to develop, inspire, and motivate the world of the emergency services operator through a series of wide-ranging conversations. Now, before we go any further, just hit that rate, follow, or subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening to. It's a key performance indicator for us and helps us reach even more people. Now, here's what we've got for you today. A couple of days ago, I headed down to London, specifically the Shard, for the 10th International Tall Buildings Conference here in the UK. And honestly, one of the best professional development events I've attended in quite a while. Well, at least a couple of months, because I've been to some awesome CPD events on a regular basis. But alongside the conference itself, which was a 2-day conference, I was also invited to attend a specialist high-rise firefighting masterclass that was done the day before. And that was just incredible, because it was one of the most passionate rooms, full of firefighters asking incredible questions. And it was all around specialist high-rise firefighting. And in these next few episodes, or in the episode mini-series that we're going to create, might not necessarily come in order, you're going to hear about some of the content that directly came from one of the most respected speakers in high-rise firefighting anywhere in the world, and that's Brent Brooks. Now, you will already probably be familiar with Brent if you've listened to previous episodes, because we have had him on the Firefighters Podcast before. But if you don't, Brent is a former captain with the Toronto Fire Service. He's done 28 years firefighting, an incredible career, including assignments to Toronto's dedicated high-rise unit. He's been heavily involved in high-rise firefighting research, training development, incident command systems, operational committees, and also hands-on instructionals all around the world. And what makes Brent such a powerful educator is that he doesn't just teach theory. He teaches practical systems that firefighters can actually use under pressure. So this mini-series is going to focus heavily on high-rise firefighting tactics, water delivery, flow paths, building behavior, operational coordination, fireground logistics, and so many of the realities of firefighting in these really incredibly complex tall buildings where distance, time, fatigue all become massive factors. Honestly, some of these discussions during the masterclass were exceptional. And one thing I really want you to think about, and one thing I want to say before we start, is if you're somebody that relies solely on the information that you get just from your own organization, then you're massively limiting your own growth and development. It's not a criticism. It's not a criticism of your organization, your service, your brigade. It's not a criticism of mine. It's just reality. Professional development is personal responsibility. The clue is literally in the name. It's personal development. You have to chase knowledge. You have to seek out better understanding. You have to expose yourself to different ideas, different instructors, different services, and different ways of thinking. Sometimes that means putting a bit of skin in the game yourself. The masterclass was 99 quid, I think, to attend, and honestly, absolute bargain. For the level of information and experience shared inside that room in such a beautiful location as well, with so many incredible people, and of course with Brent, you'd be a fool not to do these. We are going to continue sharing these opportunities just like this. We don't get any money for promoting this event or anything like that, but we're going to keep sharing these opportunities with our Patreon community. So if you want deeper access to these conferences, to learning events, I mean, you can just hunt them out yourself. They're in magazines, they're on the websites, they're on the social media, it's free. But we also send these out, and we're going to be sending more of them out to our Patreon community because we want to give you the specifics without the noise. You know, we get invited to a lot of these things, and we want to open those opportunities up to other people. So these are the conferences, learning events, specialist content for firefighter development resources. Then make sure you get over to our Patreon. You can find it all in there. Throughout this mini-series, you're going to hear directly from Brent himself. And then in the final episode, we're going to be releasing some of his full presentations. So you can open those presentations up, come back to this first episode and revisit it properly, study it, take notes, look at the slides, and follow along with some of the presentation material. So listen straight through them to start with. It will be so much information, you won't be able to wrap your head around half of it anyway, if you're anything like me. So trust me when I say this, if you care about firefighting, command, operational effectiveness, firefighter development, there is a huge amount to take away from these conversations and these presentations from Brent. Listen through, keep looking in the notes, because at the end of the series, you'll see a link at the bottom and you can go and download them. That being said, this is episode 1 from the 10th International Tall Buildings Conference High-Rise Masterclass with Brent Brooks. I'll see you on the other side.
I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm really excited. I have 800 slides in my presentation for today. I do. I'm not kidding, because depending on what questions you ask, that's where we're going to go. So ask that difficult question. We'll just go there. Or I might anticipate some of the questions coming. I went to a station last night. I looked at the branches, the jets, tried to get some terminology. I'm not 100% on the terminology, so we're going to have to sort that out as we go. Just please correct me in the vernacular. We all speak English, but our English is different. I want to talk about this fire here, and we start fighting fires in these tall buildings, and we look at it, and the firefighter here in yellow gear comes out, and he almost falls to his death. He almost falls to his death because post-fire, the buildings are not the same as they were prior to this fire happening. It's that weak metal, the glass is gone, yada, yada, yada. We're in big trouble. And that's exactly what happens here. I'm going to start right off with fire, just like I said. I'm going to look at these three pictures, same fire, different perspectives. What are your thoughts on that? What are our hazards? We can see hazards in all of these. Maybe just focus on this one here for now. But what's happening here? Is this a high-rise residential or high-rise commercial? Is it mixed use? Does it have balconies that slow the progression of auto exposure? Does it have no balconies, which makes auto exposure even faster? Does it have channels? Does it have chaseways? Russ wanted me to talk about sizing up a high-rise building, also wanted me to talk about water supply, so I'm going to just nail this right off the bat. What about fallen debris? Any issues with fallen debris? Yeah. Where are our fire department connections? On the building? Below it? Yeah. What else do we see here? How many stories are on fire? 3? 2 real good ones, maybe? Yeah. How many liters per minute do we need to put out that fire? A lot. Yeah. Well, guess what? It's 2026. We know exactly how much water it takes to put out that fire. We know exactly how much water it takes to put out that fire. It's 2026. All right. I like this picture as well because if you look at the city of London, we have water, we have new buildings, we have old buildings, we have complex buildings, we have podium-sized buildings. What's happening in this picture here? We got a hit on it. Exactly. We got this fire knocked down. Let's zoom into this a little bit more. So we can see we do have structural damage. We can see we have concrete spalling. We can see the cladding on the outside. But why did they get lucky here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Why did they get lucky? Bingo. So when you size up a high-rise building, look at it a little bit different now. Look at the balconies, look at the cladding, look at the facade. And some cladding, one of the big mistakes I made out of fire, we pull up, is actually Maple Leaf Square. Pull up to Maple Leaf Square and I count, we have a heavy fire, second alarm, yada, yada. We start increasing it, fire's on 10. We get in there, we didn't have elevator control. And in my city, we have firefighters on top of firefighters on top of firefighters. We don't have a staffing issue, and we want to beat that next-in crew, so we take the stairs. We get to the 10th floor, we open the 10th floor, clean hallway. We take the door, go in the apartment, no fire. I look out the window, like we're only halfway there. We got another 10 stories to go. I counted the outside of the building. The glass was two stories tall on each one. So don't get fooled. The building's alarm system panel tells you what that fire is. Donald Trump's building, he's taken out 10 floors of his building. So the ground floor is actually the 20th floor. Why? Because on my driver's license or my mailing address is more affluent. Other than Donald Trump's building, I'm on the 50th floor. You're really on the 40th floor, right? Other buildings, every single unit, including the ground floor, is penthouse. Penthouse 1, penthouse 3, penthouse 4. I don't know if it's in this presentation here, but another one, I live in apartment 7904. It's really apartment 309. So we can get really, really fooled if we just start jumping into the building without pausing for a second to check that fire department connection. I can now go to any fire department and I can look at your high-rise operations and tell you exactly whether or not you'll be successful based on the conditions that we see. We know exactly how much water they can flow out of those hose lines. That's predetermined. That's the science. We know how much our nozzles flow. We know how much water delivery our hose and nozzle packages produce. So let's look at a fire that happened in Toronto. And this is just recently. This is just the other day. What do we see in this one? Look at the smoke. What's the wind direction? Not bad, is it? We have calm winds, so it's probably not going to be wind impacted. Everything we do in the fire service, and some people used to say, hey, you're playing quarterback after the fact.
We're working in collaboration with the Blue Light Show, a national conference and exhibition built around one thing: blue light services do better together than apart. I'm going to be there 1st and 2nd of July 2026 at the event, getting involved with those conversations and connecting with people who really care about doing the job better across the blue light sector. I'll see you there.
Who's here all firefighters? I should ask that question first. Who's firefighters? Good, the majority of you. We're not playing quarterback after the fact if we're talking about our own people. It's not a sports team. We're not playing football here. We're actually, we have the potential to lose our life. We have the potential to make someone's life better. We have to play quarterback after the fact because this is how we're going to improve the fire service. If we keep hoarding this, we're not going to win. So I'm going to tell you the mistakes that I made in hopes that you don't make the same mistakes. 31 years now, firefighting with Toronto. I just retired. I got a new job. But I look at this, that's a good fire. You saw that explosion. This is lithium ion. This is the reality now of firefighting. And we know that if you don't want to play quarterback after the fact, fine. Someone's going to play it for you. Everything we do now is videotaped. Everything we do now is videotaped. Evacuation, it's all videotaped. People coming down the stairs, it's all videotaped. Every interaction you do is videotaped. Just accept it. Just accept it right now. Everything you do is captured. So if you don't start spreading and sharing this information, you're just hoarding that information. Someone's going to get it, especially when it comes to a courtroom. They're going to figure it out. And where do all eyes point on? The end user that had the dealing with this fire. It's the firefighters. It's so easy to start with us. You were in there, what happened? The smoke spread, this person died, whatever the case may be. The magnifying lens is on us. And it'll take years and years and years to find out the true answer. We need to be a little bit more proactive. So in saying that, this is the cheat sheet right here. Try to simplify high-rise firefighting. What to do on a clean hallway, a dirty hallway. If you come up short, you're unable to make the fire department. It's a wind-impacted fire. The floor below nozzle won't work. You need more liters per minute. Right there, one picture. So what do you guys call a clean hallway in your world? Or a clear hallway? No smoke. Perfect. So do you hook up in a clean hallway? You do? Okay. Do you hook up on a dirty hallway? Okay. So we kind of simplified. If you have to wear your SCBA, it's considered a dirty hallway. Now I know you have a different SCBA process, but we can talk about that. Those are the questions I like. Let's bring the difficult questions up. And if not, give me a shout. Just highrisefirefighting.com because we can talk about the hockey stick thing. It's really cheap. We use these hockey sticks. We show you stream placement. We show you the smoothbore application. We show you surface cooling. We show you reach a stream under temperatures, all with hockey sticks and straight streams. And I explained with some of the fog nozzle principles. It's all free. Just help yourself to it, please. Big water application. Do you take a portable monitor interior in your world? It's not a ground monitor. A ground monitor is a fixed appliance. A portable monitor is meant to go interior. We don't get to pick our fires, the fire picks us. So when the fire picks us, it's telling us exactly what hose and nozzle package to use, how many liters per minute requires to put on that fire. So yeah, we go interior all the time with 430 GPMs. I don't know what that is, just under 2,000 liters per minute, because the fire picked that hose and nozzle package, not us. So these are interesting stuff, and we're going to talk about water supply here in a second. The thing about the science, and this is another May, they wanted to borrow my equipment. You don't have to have this state-of-the-art training facility. You don't have to always have this, level 5 flash can. You just need to do the sets and reps with your hose and nozzle package to make this happen. So this is a small island in Canada called PEI, Prince Edward Island. They're using the floor below, they're using the flanking nozzle, they're doing exterior cladding, they're preparing for wind-impacted fires and exterior cladding and lithium ion just in that one picture. And what's important is they're using the exact same hose and nozzle package. Everything is interchangeable. You get down range, you're exposed to lithium ion or fire that can't be extinguished, we just switch on the fly. We just switch the branch without going back to shut our water supply down. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. Where we're losing that disconnect is we fight way more residential house fires than we do high-rise fires. We can agree on that. Okay, perfect. So now you have that same mentality as we're going to a fire, we're going to a fire, we're going to a fire. And when I go to a residential house fire, I can see my hydrant. I can see at least two sides of the building. I can see hose lines getting deployed. I can see lines hooking up to my hydrant. I can see crews going around to the Charlie side. I can see conditions getting better or conditions getting worse. I can see ladders going into play. And as the firefighters with situational awareness, I know what you're doing because I see you going to the Charlie side with a ladder. I know what you're doing, you're going to the roof. I know what you're doing, you're going to be entry control. We can see what's happening. We have that situational awareness. When it comes to high-rise firefighting, though, game changer, and I'll show you why right here. Oops, did I do too many clicks? So this is a high-rise fire. We have the luxury that the hallways are on the outside of the building. So we can see the dogs, we can see the occupants. There's a lot of stuff going on in this building that we have the luxury to seeing in this video. When they take the door, that smoke is going to come into the hallway. We don't get to see this here. This is the exact same fire. This is a second alarm. We can just see a little bit of the glow. But all that smoke that you're going to see coming out of here is on the interior. I can't see crews going to work like you can in that picture. When it comes to high-rise firefighting, you're 100% radio dependent. I need you to make that radio transmission on conditions. As an incident commander, I can see that on a house fire. I can see things getting better. I can see things getting worse. On a high-rise, I'm relying on you to give me a report on conditions. What are conditions? We lost the south stairwell. That's not good, is it? We also know that you can't play catch-up when it comes to high-rise firefighting. You have one push. You have one chance. You lose a stairwell. You lose a building. It all comes down to math and science and timing, and I'm going to talk about that. Okay, here's your 12 problems. Oh, by the way, you can take pictures, you can record. I'm an open book. I'm an open book because I need your feedback. I need those challenging questions so I can go back and mull it over and talk to different firefighters. So these are the 12 problem areas in firefighting. This is a global problem. This isn't a Toronto problem. And what I've done is I've highlighted evacuation and I highlighted application of agent. This is where we're struggling globally. Do we dump the building? Do we shelter in place? All that stuff comes to evacuation. And application of agent. How long does it take to get water on the fire? Who here times their vertical response time on their job? Anyone times their vertical response time? What about time to get on the rig? Who times that? What about from your station to the actual call address? Do you time that? Oh, good. But you don't time the next vertical response time. All right, let me give you a little bit of a trick. In my world, we time it. So after the parking brake comes on a fire high-rise 332, we're on scene. The dispatcher keeps time now. The next thing they're going to hear is Toronto Fire, high-rise 332, we're A2. A2, Alpha 2 just means it's our second arrival location, the true arrival location. We started doing this at medical calls when we go to high-rise buildings, so we can get that vertical response time. When we go to alarm calls, same thing. Toronto Fire, high-rise 332, we're A2, perfect. So I can tell you our vertical response time, on average, citywide, is 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Let's call it 6 minutes. Next timing, Toronto Fire, we have application of agent. These are the timings that we need to know when we start looking into IRMS and incident command. So here's another fire. Again, I like to pick, Russ wanted me to talk about size up. Just happened the other day in Montreal, Canada. I know this wouldn't happen in the UK. It's going to come up here in a second, I'm sure. But if we look at the buildings, what is different in this building? So I showed you buildings that look like commercial glass. I showed you building with balconies. What's different about this? Well, they're recessed balconies, right? But I got a mixture of everything, don't I? So you think I have a high-rise residential, I have a high-rise commercial. No, you have a mixed-rise high-rise building. You have everything in there. So what hose and nozzle package are you bringing? We used to have a hose and nozzle package for commercial high-rise firefighting. We used to have a hose and nozzle package for residential. Now we have one hose and nozzle package, and we're really, really good at it. It was going to come up here shortly. Anyways, in Canada, the police have to park in front of the hydrants, and they have to park in front of the fire department connection. That's not part of our policy. That's their policy. Do you guys have the same thing here? Okay, that's good. I'm glad we had this discussion. It's a worldwide problem. Okay, what's happening with the smoke in this picture here? But smoke's hot. It doesn't go down, does it? Where does it go? It goes up. So do high-rise buildings produce their own wind patterns? Yeah, sure they do, right? These are a true size up of the ventilation profile of the building, and this tells you whether or not you're going to be successful. I see heavy smoke on the exterior of a high-rise building. That's going to be an easy one. It truly is. I see no smoke or no signs on the outside of a building, and when I run alarm calls, I don't see smoke, right? So you get complacency. That's going to be your worst day. What does glass fail at? Do you know, on high-rise buildings, especially if it's heat treated? 900 degrees. What does your face piece fail at? Starts to fail at 300. It will fail at between 450 and 500, and the glass hasn't even failed on your building yet, if it's a heat-treated glass. Your face piece will fail before the glass does. Something to think about. All right, now let's go back to Toronto. We talked about balconies, and I love the complexity of these buildings because I got every type of chaseway manageable.
Chaseway?
When I say chaseway, so when you look at the building, think this path here. So those are all no balconies, glass on glass on glass on glass. But and then I have this, and this cladding, and you're going to see fires in Dubai where that's going to run the building, but it's not going to go left or right. It's got a chaseway, top to bottom. Vertical groove, I like that. Now I have balconies, that's going to slow auto exposure, but now we get drop down. The Venezia, Spain, right? Fire dropped down, went left and right. Why? Because of balconies. It stopped the slower progression of auto exposure, but now we have a different type of fires. That's the size up is a big deal. What about the smoke? Where's it going? Yeah, so we got a little bit of a wind conditions, don't we? Occupant behavior, grandfather with child, right? Occupant behaviors in buildings are unpredictable. They really are, depending on how excited you are. And I can tell you in 2026, it's more unpredictable because right now you can pick up your phone and you can tell me the score live on a soccer game. Oh, I'm sorry, football game, my bad. And I'm standing by you're going to guarding me in case I say soccer again, my bad. But you get instant information. The second you don't get information, you're going to make that mistake. There's a fire in my building and I can't get instant information. You start to panic. You start to get excited. You're going to call, I know that guy, Frank, the firefighter. I'm going to call Frank. And if my daughter calls me and I'm at work, she goes, Dad, there's a fire in my building. I'll probably tell you to get out. Right? Get out, sweetie. And then she's going to hang up. I know she's evacuated. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. What type of fire? Where is the fire? Do we have compartmentalization? Is the hallway dirty? Is the stairwell dirty? I need to call her back and change that decision. We can't make those immediate decisions until we get our firefighters, boots on the ground, up there to make that. If I have a dirty stairwell, I'm not dumping the building. If the smoke is in the hallway, I'm not telling people on the fire floor to get out. I'm telling you to shelter in place. So the building dictates our strategies.
It is beyond a privilege to be able to bring the Firefights podcast to you, and we are so grateful for every single person that supports, listens, shares, and follows our journey. And to help us keep doing it, create more, reach more guests internationally, and make the podcast sustainable, we're asking for you to help. And to do this, we've set up a Patreon page. By joining our Patreon community, you will get access to every single full episode archive we have ever made. Now, hundreds and hundreds of key documents that we've got in there on fire behavior, firefighter health, cancer risks, incident debriefs, and so much more. So if you feel like you want to join the Patreon crew and help us make this possible, head to patreon.com/TFFPC or check the link in any episode podcast notes.
So this building, this fire here, they get up there, they encounter a dirty hallway. That forces a stretch from the floor below. They hook up on the floor below and they go out, and the first female firefighter, but this was her first fire. She gets a kill right off the hop. Our fires are 6 seconds. They went from 6 minutes to 16 minutes. They're 6 seconds now since we flow big water. So she gets the kill. Captain's like, well done, go shut down your standpipe. She goes down to the floor below. She's in zero visibility, high heat, because we have drop down. So where she started her fire attack in the standpipe system on a clean hallway off air is now dirty with another crew making a push. That another crew that's making the push are forced to go the floor below of the fire. And what happens to them? They stretch short, and the exact same. So now they're short because they need that extra stick of hose to get successful. So this is her first fire. I want you to keep this in mind. This is her first fire, but because we trained her for success, she grabbed another section of hose, went to the front of the nozzle, spun the tip off, added the increaser, added the length of hose, and went in for the kill. 1, SCBA bottle, 2, good juicy fires in the building, because that's her training. And there she is right there. Her name's Ches. She does sets and reps of leapfrogging is what we call it. We don't have to shut the water down to do it. And it's a tactics change right off the hop. Remember what I said about balconies? They're weak, the glass has failed. Every single one of us does this. You go to your hotel room, you open the door, you look out. Even here I went and I looked out. It's what we do. When you're a firefighter, I need you to change that perspective and think this building has just been on fire. When I go to look out or lean on balconies, we gotta prevent that tragedy from happening. Okay, so Pensacola Beach, Florida. No secret here, but that is a portable monitor. We have it set up to 430 gallons per minute. We're dropping a Breslin distributor right behind it. That's for wind-impacted fire and exterior cladding. It's 500 GPMs, 36 feet of coverage. It's a rainmaker. It's the world's largest sprinkler head. And here's the thing about 430 GPMs and 500 GPMs. How much nozzle reaction are we going to expect off large GPMs like that? Crazy. I'm here to tell you it's zero. Nada. There's no nozzle reaction at all. Why? Because it's a rotary distributor. It spins. Right? This here is a portable monitor. It's taking nozzle reaction to ground. Have you guys ever heard of the shin pin when you take the nozzle reaction to ground? That monitor does it for you. So I can stand on the hose line, talk to friends while that monitor is flowing. And I can take my toe and I can play with it and go up and down on it, flowing 430 GPMs. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying this is part of that theory. Then we're doing improvised standpipes, 15 stories. We're seeing what a reach of stream is, like Meridian Plaza fire from point A to point B. This is the research and development. This is the type of stuff that really excites me. So there's no secret. I've been going around the world talking to firefighters that have had that bad stories. And I don't care what fire department you work with or where you were. I don't even need to know your name. I just need to know what went right and what went wrong so I can go spread that news. I have a conference coming up, and again, in Pensacola Beach. So if you have a mayday or if you have a firefighter near miss and you don't want to talk about it, just send me a video or send me a 10-minute thing. I'll use it for that conference, because I want to get as many of those near misses as possible from the boots on the ground firefighters that experienced them, so I can share that going forward. This was a mistake, believe it or not, but I'm a member of the Council of Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat, and by visiting these different fire departments and buildings, I visited 36 of the world's tallest buildings so far. There's 118 and growing. This excites me because if we figure out how to fight fires in our future buildings, we're going to be successful. And when I say future buildings, they're kind of already built, aren't they? If I figure out how to fight a fire in this building, all the other buildings would become easier. Why? Because I have open floor plates, I have high ceilings, I have the potential for massive smoke movements. It's a great building to learn how to fight a fire in. Now imagine taking a commercial type firefighting tactic and going to residential. Yeah, you're going to be a rock star. You're going to be able to pull it off. And when I do start traveling, this is in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The only difference between 1974 and 2024 when I was there is the vegetation's grower. But they lost 179 people in that building. Went to another building, lost 189 buildings. And for a guy that studies high-rise firefighting, I had no idea about these fires. But I was able to go there, and you know what hasn't changed? The hydrant locations, the fire department connections, the stairwells. So I can actually go there based on some information that firefighters told me that happened there and actually kind of play it out and walk through those steps. It's so important for us to do that. And I'm telling you, it's not playing quarterback after the fact. So if you don't know the history, you're going to repeat itself. I took this picture here. Super exciting for me because I love the history. I couldn't understand why they didn't have shutoffs on smoothbore nozzles. So when I introduced smoothbore nozzles to the Toronto Fire Service, what do you think they said? Well, we can't use them, they don't have shutoffs. And now I know the reason why they didn't have shutoffs by studying history. Okay, let's talk about the future of high-rise building. So we have the Burj Khalifa, not just the tallest building in the world, but it's the tallest TV in the world as well. Is it wood? What's the difference between wood burning and plastics or polycarbonate? And all the lasers they have, right? It's highly toxic. And if you're not into fire behavior or fire science or fire dynamics, and you don't understand what black smoke is fuel. If we encounter any fire, high-rise, residential, doesn't matter, and I open the door and smoke is down to the doorknob, and I can see crystal clear. If smoke is down to the doorknob, the full potential of the line gets flown, the full potential, because the smoke is flammable, right? We have simulators that simulate that. We have the Fire Max Pro Box, and we'll show you that smoke is flammable. What do you think the insurance company thinks about smoke? But then they'll blame the fire department for water damage, don't they? I'm telling you, there's no such thing as water damage if it comes from one of our I'm trying to get the vernacular, water jets, water branches, we call them nozzles. There's no such thing as water damage because smoke is doing the same type of damage. We're just wetting it down. But when we flow the full potential line, we make all our problems go away just like that. The toxicity also gets dropped in the room. So when we talk about flowing a smooth bore, and I take this door, I'm hitting the ceiling. I cause contraction. In 1 second, by flowing 265 gallons per minute in my world, that's a lot of water. In your world, that's 1,003 liters per minute, right? So my problems go away in seconds. I get contraction, which just gave someone in that flat or in that apartment a chance of survival. And I'm going to continue to flow that line until when? When do you shut a branch down? Any idea? When you feel like you can take your gloves off, right? Because that's what the occupant's experiencing. They don't have skin or lung protection. We flow the full potential of the line till we feel we can take our gloves off. Because when that fire started, it was the size of my laptop. It might have been my laptop. It's got lithium ion in it. Well, when that fire starts to burn, all these surfaces are working against that laptop, right? It's endothermic. It needs to become the same temperature. As that fire grows and gets bigger, these surfaces are absorbing that heat. But at some point in that firefighting, these surfaces, maybe not this one, but that one, is now exothermic. Now it's working with the fire. We take that right out of play. We get contraction, and now we get our target. If you're flowing water for more than 10 seconds, and 10 seconds is a long time, if you're flowing water for more than 10 seconds and you don't see change in fire conditions, you don't have liters per minute or you don't have water placement. It's that simple. It's that simple. You don't have placement, you don't have liters per minute. It should be just like that. All right, we talked about that. What did you say that? You called that a chaseway?
Vertical groove.
Vertical groove, perfect. So there's a vertical groove. There's a perfect example of a vertical groove. Does anyone know the story about this fire? Oh, I forgot to mention too, the Burj Khalifa doesn't have a sewer system in it, right? They have to take that gray water and sewage water twice a day. They got to transport it in. Do they have a?
Oh, so that's almost like the trench effect.
It is. It's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. So I know when I go to combat this fire, well, I need to go above it. What do you think the conditions in that building look above the fire? Perfectly clear, just like this right here, right? It's perfectly clear. Crazy to think about, but it's perfectly clear. And sometimes when we get these exterior cladding fires, there's no alarm bell sounding in the building. Why is that? It's not being detected. It's on the exterior. So when you get a house fire at 3 o'clock in the morning and the porch catches fire and it gets growing and then breaches the glass on the second story bedroom, that's where we get our fire deaths. Because they don't get that early warning of smoke detection. They get flames, and next thing you know, into our compartment. And that's where we get our bad fires, when they start on a residential house fire from exterior to interior. On a high-rise building, you're just not going to know that unless someone calls it in. What about the fallen debris? You have lots of that. So it's consistent globally. We're safe to say. Does Dubai have the Cadillac of water systems? They just bring their own water, right? You're going to see the tankers here. Who's from Brazil here?
I have been wearing Gore-Tex for nearly 2 decades on the front line, working in hostile environments, tackling challenging incidents from firefighting to water incidents and in urban search and rescue environments. Gore-Tex have a well-earned reputation for protecting professionals in the fire and emergency services through their family of highly innovative, waterproof, breathable moisture barriers that exceeds global performance standards and are trusted worldwide. Gore-Tex, going further together.
I was in Brazil and they said, yeah, our hydrant system is our plan B. We bring our own water as plan A. Okay, this changes things. So in my world, because I do this global traveling, our plan A is we're gonna use the tank water off our vehicle. And if I don't have a hydrant hooked up in time, I'm using the next vehicle, the next tank. We call it tank to tank. Tank to tank Frank is another thing we call it. We go tank to tank Frank, tank to tank. Just keep giving us water until we get a water supply. We don't hold back nothing. All right, look at this. So now we're doing, this is Oracle. We're doing improvised standpipes because when I talked about heat treated glass, it fails at 900 degrees. What about hurricane glass? This is hurricane glass, by the way. It's also, there's bulletproof glass in the first 2 stories. So now we're doing with these high security type areas. But the good thing is we're doing improvised standpipe. We're training for the worst case scenario on our commercial buildings now. We've finally made this relationship. But in order for this to work, and this is what I've been living on, is I need your feedback. I need to know about your bad fires. I need to know, hey, we tried this and it didn't work. Or we tried this and it worked. Or we have a simpler way of doing that. Someone out there has a solution. And I was with the London Fire Brigade yesterday, and they did some pretty cool things that we don't do. So you see what I mean? We can give a little and give a little. We're all in the same fight together. We're trying to save our lives. We're trying to save our civilian, the taxpayers' lives. So give me your feedback. As far as where I came from, Toronto Fire, 85 stations, 3,200 firefighters, 3,200 high-rise buildings, and 6,000 mid-rise buildings. So we are a big city. As far as what a Toronto firefighter looks like, Toronto is only one of 3 cities in the world without a dominant or ethnic culture group. Perfect. Yeah, I'm proud to say we're all different, but we get that feedback that I'm looking from so many different countries. And when it comes to firefighting, I'm telling you, we're onto something. The pride of our fleet right now is a 7,000 meters, so 230-foot tower. There's no Americans in here, right? Okay, well, we tell them that we make clouds in Canada, we send them south of the border. And it's believable for them because that's where our firefighting smoke goes. This is a church fire. We're up to, the 230 feet just because of the way the dome was on the church. And I'm doing my job, it doesn't scare me. It didn't scare me until I look down and I see the offset from where I am in the bucket to the 31-foot outriggers on it. I had the best operator, Justine, she's operating, and the jib, this section here, goes a 1/4 of an inch. It felt like 4 meters. So yeah, now I'm scared, but that's okay. It's a different world, but people say we don't get the tall aerial ladders because aerial rescue is a difficult thing. I have 400 people, I have 1,000 people in a building. I'm gonna put up one aerial, I'm gonna rescue maybe one person if you're lucky. It's for an improvised standpipe. It's for a waterway. And we start looking at podium-based high-rise buildings, and you got PRVs, you got PRDs, you got a whole bunch of different systems. What the aerial, I'm just trying to look for some here. What the aerial does is it bypasses all that. I'm gonna bypass all these fancy systems. I'm gonna go right to the stairwell, and I'm gonna pump into that. So when we start running complexities and we start running problem solving, how long is it gonna take you to figure that out? If you're not getting water up on the fire floor, hey, we're gonna make it happen. It's a strategy, it's a plan Z maybe, but we're still gonna put it into play. And we're not gonna wait for the call for help because we know our vertical response time is 12 minutes. We know 6 minutes. Our water application time is 6 minutes, that's 12 minutes. How long does it take to put the outriggers up, get the boom out, get the firefighters in it, and put on the target? And what if I can't get it? What if I just made that 2-foot mistake? Send it. You went to a building, you're wearing $36,000 in firefighting equipment, you bring a $2.5 million apparatus, use it, set it up, make it happen. Just don't stop that process until they say we have this fire under control. That's my thought process. So that's one of our 2 dedicated high-rise units. We have 2 dedicated high-rise units. They're staffed with 4, 24 hours a day. They go to every single high-rise fire. It's a 5,000 run truck a year. It doesn't run medical calls and doesn't run false alarm calls. And we have 2 of them, and we might be getting 2 more. It's just a different tactics. The idea, Russ, just throw up a flag when we're done. You said 5 minutes?
5 minutes to coffee, yeah.
Perfect. Probably at 2 now. So the idea of our high-rise trucks, and I know our vernacular is different, we have an exterior staging. That's where our fans go, our positive pressure isolation fans. We do positive pressure isolation before we do ventilation. We're trying to protect the building first. The next thing is the lobby staging, which isn't the lobby 2 floors below, or I think you call it a bridgehead. It's the lobby of the building, right, where all the brains are. And our next staging location is 2 floors below, which we call forward staging. Every single thing that you find on a fire truck is 2 floors below, and all our specialty tactics offer a high-rise unit. We cannot stop this process until the fire's out of control. It's that simple, because when the elevators fail, on average, 20 minutes after a firefight, we're not going to have the luxury of bringing that equipment up. So that's how the high-rise unit falls into play. You don't need a high-rise unit. You just need to know what goes on these certain stages and be progressive and make that happen. Russ, we were talking last night. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but you and I will be the only ones that are going to pick up on this. But we have patient evacuation strategies. We have 10. If a firefighter goes down below grade, and our deepest below grade is 10 stories, this is a battery-powered stair climber that lifts 500 pounds. So if a firefighter goes down on air, we can bring that firefighter out. And we have some other options as well. The smoke blockade curtains we have them, the battery-powered redundancy we have them, the big fans we have them. All this stuff gets pre-staged. We also know that if we're going to be successful as firefighters globally, we have to start, and this is why the feedback's important, is we need to troubleshoot every single thing we do. Who here is excellent at ventilation? I mean, like excellent at ventilation. No one puts their hands up, do they? I can tell you that you have a 100% chance of breaking the building's breaker if you use a 100-foot extension cord and you crank the electric fan on high. You have a 100% chance. Why do I know that? Because I've done it. The feedback tells me it's happening. So we went from 100-foot extension cords to 50-foot extension cords. What do you think happened? We still broke the breakers on the building's system. So then we went to 25-foot extension cords. You know what? It actually did calm it down a little bit, but it was cranking the fan to its maximum. So now we know that if we want to use our our electric corded fans, we go to the kitchen breaker that goes at 50 amps versus the hallway breakers that go at 15. But that's still iffy, isn't it? So we always bring the battery-powered redundancy. And this is an old age home fire. We're doing positive pressure isolation. We hook our fans up to the building system. Our fans break the building system's breaker. We have redundancy. We just put the cords into our equipment. Now we have success. We can predict and forecast the failures based on our feedback.
So just on that, is that why in the first slide with the 12 items you were looking at electrical failure because you use the electrical systems?
Either us doing it, the building doing it, or water just doing it.
Yeah, because we sort of discount that in the UK. You won't use the electrical system within the building, whereas you rely on it as part of
Actually, Russ, we talked about this last night too. Clark Lamping said that we anticipate that building as everything's failed when we go to do it. Our plan A is we're going to use a building system, right? So we'll use the cord. I'm going to run a 100-foot cord, or I can just plug it in here. Same with the standpipe system. We're going to try your standpipe system. And the second we start getting the heebie-jeebies, we're using 100% ours. But you have to have that mental thought process is that building is not going to function for me. I'm not going to wait to be told from doing a task or a tactic that building has failed in order for me to call for that next wave, because I know I don't have 12 minutes. It's just happening. So pretend like that building's going to fail on arrival. This is what our staging floor looks like. Yes, we bring a ladder. Where's your sprinkler shut-offs? Right? They're in the stairwells. They're up high. They're hidden. As firefighters, we get too excited about water damage. We do. We get too excited. We're not worried about water damage any longer. If you're not going to tell us how to shut it down, where to shut it down, I'm not really concerned about it. I'm really not. It's part of the design process. I was in Singapore, and my hotel room had 3 sprinkler heads. It had 3 floor drains. That's smart design. That's smart engineering. They don't care how long the sprinkler systems go off. We are very sensitive here in North America and probably Europe too. I don't know, but yeah, we don't care about water damage anymore. And we tell the building operator to shut the sprinkler system down. You know where it is. You understand the system, because if I shut that building system, sprinkler system down, like what happened in the Walmart and the Home Depot facility in the States, and then you end up losing the entire building, who are they coming after? Yeah, they're coming after the fire department, but we're trying to help. I know you are, but you're the easiest catch. You're the easiest target to find guilty to get my money back. Thank you for helping me reclaim my money. I know it sounds mean and harsh, but that's the reality. We're the easiest low-hanging fruit, but that's what our staging floor looks like. Let's take that break, Russ.
Well, that's it for today, folks. Hope you took a lot away from that episode. We started the Firefighters podcast to develop, inspire, connect, motivate, represent, and most importantly, celebrate the world of incredible emergency services operators and the wider sector through this series of wide-ranging conversations. We really love creating this podcast and bringing it to so many people. Did you know you can also find these on YouTube? We do a lot of video podcasts now. You can head over to our YouTube page and follow, subscribe there. And as a final ask from us, whatever platform you're on, please rate the podcast. It really helps us as a key performance indicator to reach more and more people. I've been your host, Pete Wakefield. This has been the Firefighters Podcast. And wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, be happy, and where possible, please remember and support your firefighters and first responders. I'll see you next time.